everybody, it's me, Darlene. I am outside today, you'll notice. The reason I'm outside today is I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of getting fresh air and whatnot. When you have Parkinson's, you tend to stay in the house a lot. And it's not very healthy for your mental well-being. So therefore, I have made it a point of trying to get outside. I shouldn't say actually, my daughter has made it a point of getting me to go outside because I don't tend to do it on my own. Um, I'm very much a homebody, always have been. But with Parkinson, you do tend to withdraw quite a bit. And so therefore, when you're withdrawing, one of the first things that you give up is going out into the world. Now, I don't do a lot of going out into the world, but I will come outside, especially on a gorgeous day like today. It's very mild, it's not hot, there's no breeze, it's just very, very beautiful. So I don't know how I can explain to you how important it is to keep your spirits up. If you don't keep your spirits up, it's very easy to get discouraged, and nobody wants to be around you if you get discouraged. So therefore, you try everything that you possibly can. Now, I'm not getting any exercise while I am just out here because I'm in my wheelchair because I came away from my apartment building. So I'm not getting any exercise, so I'm not accomplishing that fashion of it, but I am getting the fresh air. Now, I wasn't always like this. I want to tell a small little story about my brother. Now, my brother's 3 years younger than I am. He is a full-time caregiver for my father, which with the rest of us really appreciate that he does that for us. But when we were younger and I was a teenager, we enjoyed doing everything outside. It was one of those play outside until, the street lights came on and then you had to be home, not like kids today. But my brother and I wanted to ski. And we lived in Edmonton, and there was a ski hill in Edmonton, and we went to it regularly. But that wasn't good enough. There was a ski trip coming up down to the mountains. Just before you get into Jasper in the mountains, there's a small town of Hinton, and outside of Hinton there is a ski hill. It's a very big ski hill. And they were having a bus trip that was going to go out there. The supposition was if you were under 16 years old, you had to be with somebody who was over 16. Well, I was 15, and my parents said I was 16 to sign me up, and my brother was 12, and so he got to come with me because he was with someone who was 16. And off we went for a 3-hour bus ride out of town with our skis, and we were set to have fun. Well, Gary had no fear. I had fear. So we went up the hill, and he went down first, and then, no, I went down first. So I ski down the hill, and then I hear that they call for the ski patrol because there has been an accident up on the hill. Now I'm waiting for Gary to arrive at the bottom, and he doesn't get there. And I'm thinking, well, the accident couldn't have been Gary. No, that wouldn't have been possible. But the accident was Gary. So then I hear somebody says, oh, did you hear about that guy up on the ski hill? He broke a leg. And then the next one says, no, he broke both legs. And then somebody else said, I think it was his neck. And that's just how stories go absolutely crazy. Well, anyway, I knew it was him. So I took the lift to go back up, and I skied down to where he was. And I skied down, and the ski patrol was all around him and whatnot. And I was looking at him, and all I could say was, Gary, look at your leg. And he wouldn't look at it. And I said, Gary, look at your leg. And he wouldn't look. So I proceeded to tell him what his leg looked like. The left leg came up at the knee instead of down at the knee, turned around and lay on the other leg. Meanwhile, he was in great pain. They pushed all of the parts where they needed to be and got them loaded into the sled. They said, everybody clear out. Well, of course, I was the first one to go down the ski hill. I didn't stay to help. Way I went. I get to the bottom, and we have to take him into the hospital. We get into the hospital, and the first thing they do is check my ID. And I'm not old enough to sign for him to get painkillers. So we had to phone my mother. So I phoned my mom, and now as a mother, I can't imagine getting this phone call. But I get my mom on the phone, and this is what I say. Hi, Mom. There's been an accident. No, I didn't say there's been an accident. I said, hi, Mom. I need the medical card. She said, what do you need the medical card for? And I said, there's been an accident. And she says, who is it? And I said, Gary. What happened? I said, he broke a leg. No, he broke both legs. Well, Mom says, yes, I'll sign whatever and we will be there. She gets in the car. Now we're 2.5 hours away. By the time they get there, I was so distraught because they had cut Gary's ski boots off. And I said to them, I said, we rented the ski boots. I said, my parents are going to kill me that you cut these ski boots off. And they said, believe me, honey, that's not what they're going to kill you for. Like, you got bigger problems than ski boots. So anyway, they had Gary all up in traction and everything else when Mom got there. Well, it got even worse because Gary wasn't allowed to come home for a week. Now, we couldn't stay in Hinton for a week, so she had to leave her 12-year-old boy in the care of the nurses in Hinton without anybody that we knew while we went back to Edmonton so that we could arrange for an ambulance to bring him home in a week. Well, we couldn't afford for an ambulance to bring him home, so we had a Travelall international vehicle that we made a bed in the back for. And 1 week later, we as a family gathered into the international Travelall, drove out to Hinton, and loaded Gary into the back of it. I think of this story, and I think to myself, what my parents went through with us, they were saints. They truly were saints. But Gary, if you're watching, I hope you enjoyed that story. I know I think of it often, and I just remember, Gary, look at your leg. Anyway, we'll talk to y'all tomorrow.